Richard tends to oppose. Gloria tends to support. Black Agate tends to oppose. Uzo, neutral.
The situation doesn't look good.
Do you have any news, Mark?
Someone is spreading the minutes of your last meeting. I didn't get any direct evidence, but apparently every voter has read the anonymous minutes. The topic about Vertin. It has become a great disadvantage to us.
Double envelopment. A 4-4.00 approach. No wonder that the draft goes through so easily. To reject the draft during the committee meeting does not actually address the real problem. The House of Intergradas can still resubmit the draft during the next legislative session.
So they have to let it go through to get officially rejected, I suppose.
So she is planning for the long term. To bring down the voting stage and make it a plan that is totally abandoned.
Yeah.
I'm afraid so. A draft that has failed to win votes can hardly win the trust of the House's reviewers again. And of course, it won't be submitted to the committee.
Did anyone make any actual move yet?
Not yet. The minutes only changed their preferences, but the number of those who have taken a stand still remains the same.
Just as I expected. This draft is not about Vertin, but a promise to the future. About how to balance the benefits between different interest groups. To reach that, we need to meet the expectations of those groups who have a need for flexible management, and also appease the conservatives and not shake their confidence in controlling the overall situation.
Actually, we do have an opportunity to change the game now.
Opportunity.
I hereby challenge Delegate Mark Hall to a public debate on the revised draft of Storm Reformation, Manpower, and Discipline. This draft of his will bring unpredictable risks to the Foundation, yet Mark himself seems completely unaware of it. I believe it is necessary to make such risks public in a legal way.
See, I knew they were going to escalate Burton's issue.
You want to accept this challenge?
All the internal media are reporting the news. If I step back, they will definitely humiliate me and take advantage of the public opinion to undermine the draft.
Yeah, they definitely will. They'll be like, oh, he's a coward. He knows he can't win.
Mark, that's a menacing move. It is coming for us. No matter fight or flight, they have comprehensive preparation for this. I would suggest taking the long view and not jumping to conclusions.
But defense without attack will never bring us victory, Madam Z. I've always wanted an opportunity to defend the draft in public. Concerning the questions they implied about Vertin, I've collected more than enough cases to refute them. Misleading questions twist people's opinions. It's time to tell them the truth.
you have accepted it. Was it in front of the media?
I was there when Pedra challenged me. So were the media.
And you couldn't just back down.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a complete mistake.
It is a crucial debate. Do your best.
You don't have to come along with me. I'm here to repel the pests in the woods. It's part of my daily routine.
Thank you for your kindness, Miss Tigres. It is fun to stay in Miss Burton's suitcase, but I really feel like seeing the world out there. By the way, the pests you mentioned, what are they?
Well, they could be actual pests, or they could be Foundation stuff.
I've heard of a kind of giant worm called the tatzelworm. They live in caves, about 2 to 5 feet long, and their heads are like cats.
That sounds horrifying, but I highly doubt it's those.
Be very careful if you see one. Both its skin and breath are toxic.
I have never heard of such a terrible worm. Hopefully we will not encounter any.
So, what are we disinfesting this time?
Disinfesting.
Oak processionary moths. Perhaps a few gray squirrel cubs. It's not enough to only rely on potions and arcanum to keep the woods in peace. Oak trees reside here, and everything will change with it. Animals that live in symbiosis, fungi that depend on each other. All of them will embrace diversity by the day.
Do you mean that? A group of grey fluffers flying over there.
That's a little more than just a bit of squirrels. That's a whole tornado.
A swarm of oak processionary moths.
Okay,
They are preying on something.
that's terrifying.
Miss Tigres, let's help out right away!
The smell of wolves.
Please don't eat apple.
A sword sharp, the bullets are loaded.
An eye for an eye.
So long lives this, and this gives power to thee.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
It's alright.
Waiting for my chance. I believe in you. The bullets are loaded. Bad wolves, die.
Se frecaron su cuerpo cole.
Get to the hunter. A sword sharp, the bullets are loaded. So long lives this, and this gives power to thee.
Apple, you'll be okay. We'll get you out of there.
Waiting for my the bullets are loaded. I believe in you. Moonlight shines on every bad rose. Die.
Sempre caro mi su quest'erba cole. My sword sharp.
A tooth, an eye for an eye.
So long lives this, and this gives power to thee.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood. Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
Depicted my sword sharp.
Waiting for my chance.
Each moment, now night.
This apple is deeply grateful for what you've done. I almost thought I was caught in a nightmare. This apple has never seen so many moths. Ugh, this apple is going to have PTSD from insects.
I don't blame you. I too would have PTSD from insects if I got swarmed by a moth tornado.
They are very sensitive to the scent of sap. With all due respect, even among all the plants, Mr. Apple is quite attractive to insects.
So it was the scent that attracted them. No wonder Mr. Apple's invisibility didn't work. Thank goodness we're here.
Mr. Apple, did you find out anything?
Yes, Miss Druvis. I brought something insignificant. As we planned earlier, I disguised myself and reached the office building next to us. There is a device to detect arcane power at the entrance. However, this apple pried out what we needed from the guards.
What is it? Did Ms. Burton win on that voting list?
Sadly, not yet. It's not time for a formal vote. Everyone is cautious and remains neutral. Apart from that, there are some rumors in the Foundation. They are not very favorable to Vertin.
Rumors. It sounds as though the situation that Madame Z handles is more complicated and volatile than I thought. However, the votes have not been lopsided under such bad circumstances. Perhaps that means the Arcanists who share our aspirations are not in the minority.
That said, I'm afraid we are starting a protracted war, Miss Druvis.
Yeah, you guys are probably gonna be here for a while.
Yes, I know. I've taken inventory of the supplies. We can still hang in there for 4 weeks and a half.
Impressive.
Although they have cut off the water and electricity supplies in the building, we can still live on the resources in the suitcase for a while. There are fewer guards destroying the woods, probably because the abattis works.
What worries this apple is that if the procedure to finalize the draft takes more than 4 weeks and a half, we would
then survive by gradually shrinking our territory until Madame Z's draft is officially approved. We have chosen the thorny trail, and so we are destined to burn our boats and never look back. Vertin. She is worth fighting for.
For this point, Captain and this apple have absolutely no disagreement. Then this apple will keep scouting around for updates so that we could respond in time.
But be careful and try not to get caught by any more moths.
What are you looking at, Miss Sotheby?
Over there. It feels like someone is staring at us.
Let's go back. To the deep woods.
Oh no, a spy come to steal all of the fish from our ponds, apparently.
Isn't that scarf a bit too high profile?
I'm sorry, are we not allowed to wear colors in this building?
I think it fits me just well. Huh, you chose a grey shirt. Wise decision.
Looks like you're fully prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the first debater of the day, Pedro Paul Gonzalez Rosa. Graduated from the law school at the University of Sao Paulo, he is a member of the committee and, more importantly, the challenger of the debate. The other debater of the day is the delegate of the House of Integrados, Mark Hall. Over the past 10 years, he has served the Foundation by drafting countless acts and conventions. The topic of the debate today, storm reformation, manpower and discipline is exactly a work of it.
All right, both sides are seated. Before we start the debate officially, I suggest we give Mark, the draft writer, an opportunity to introduce the draft. Would you please, Mark?
With pleasure. Storm Reformation and its advocates believe in such a goal. In this ever-changing environment smitten by the storm, this draft will help the Foundation win the trust of a considerable number of arcanists who have different backgrounds and abilities in a more efficient and stable way.
That is exactly where I must raise an objection. The draft has a huge risk which Mark Hall has not realized at all.
No, sir. I totally understand what you're trying to say. You have put forward several questionable arguments to prove Verton's suspicion of disloyalty. In response to that, please allow me to invoke the following cases to prove Verton's competence for leading the unregistered arcanists. Please turn to page 373 of Verton's personnel file. As you can see, since Verton became the timekeeper, the number of unregistered arcanists she has rescued so far is 63. That is a number unmatched by that of anyone present. If that's not enough to prove her loyalty, let's continue.
I have to say, Mark, you have completely misunderstood my point of view. I don't care what Verton has done, but the feasibility of the draft. According to the existing regulations, the duties of educating and disciplining unregistered arcanists are taken by the School of Discipline. While you suggested in the draft that Timekeeper's personal teaching would replace the current collective training. Have you ever thought about the budget that we could possibly spend on it? The Foundation spends an alarming sum of money on education every year, and there is no way we pay extra for personal training.
No one said you had to.
Oh, what budget? I don't see why we're talking about budget all of a sudden. Did you really read the draft? I didn't mention a word about budget.
Of course you didn't, which exactly proves you have never realized the risk I just mentioned.
Oh, it seems the real topic of the debate has just surfaced. I believe everyone in the hall is looking forward to where it goes. So, Mark, in terms of this point, we would like to know your real thoughts.
I mean, listen, no one said that you had to give Verton, like, extra teacher's pay. She could do it pro bono.
The Blackstone is left there alone. The last move is also a defense in panic. If I were the player, what is it?
Sonetto asked me to give it to you personally.
Dear Madam Z, with this letter, I send you my best regards. I have been instructed to manage affairs on behalf of Timekeeper during her treatment. Please let me know if there are any missions to alleviate the situation. I will do my best to meet your expectations. Sincerely, Sonetto.
Good news.
Oh, you're also here?
Yes. I am taking combat drills with the artificial somnambulism training system.
I guess Lilya's just hanging here a lot at the moment, huh?
"6 hours. I'm not the only one goofing around.
No, I'm not. I am not goofing around. I am waiting for orders.
Well, much luckier than me. I have so many things to be. Бить баклуши, Have you heard it? Literally me. I should have turned down the offer when they promoted me to the Foundation headquarters. They don't have any field missions for a flying witch.
Damn. You got a promotion and now you're not allowed to do any work.
Is it because of the provisions of talent protection?
Only God knows. House arrest may be a better name. Look, since we're both bored to death, do you want to have a try at some difficult things?
What is it?
This. Have you tried the artificial somnambulism joint training? Put on the helmet together and switch to multiplayer mode. 2 operators can take on a harder training mode. More insane enemies! Like playing in the arcade.
Listen, Lilya is bored, okay?
Okay. Shall I turn this red knob? What is an arcade?
Sonetto, my poor sweet child. One day you will learn about the outside world.
What did you say? I can't hear you with my helmet on. Ooh, nice controller. Хорошо. I'm entering the zone now. It's been a long time. Why not have some fun?
The light is flashing. What did you press?
I switched to the hardest mode. You better get it together.
Lilya plays on hardcore.
Wait!
Don't fail me, top student.
Look at my back.
A tooth for a tooth.
Fine. Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
A little trick. Don't blink. Haven't you eaten? Haven't you eaten? Fine. Wanna watch the... Fine. A little trick. Right win. Right win. Whatever. Wanna watch the... Fine. Swallow my exhaust. A little trick. Don't blink. Haven't you eaten? Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
Eye for an eye. A tooth for a tooth.
Right win.
Feel it pain and know it regret. The law is above all else.
Fine.
An eye for an eye.
Don't blink.
Noble or lowly, sin shall be punished. Остался.
Whatever. Сколько побед? Fine.
Thou shalt make an atonement for thy sins.
In full!
Swallow my exhaust! Don't blink!
Resistance is futile.
Haven't you eaten? Wanna watch the air times?
An eye for an eye.
A little trick. A little trick.
A tooth for an eye for an eye. Atop the scale of justice. Pay for thy sins with thy blood. Pay for thy sins with thy blood. Noble or lowly, sin shall be punished.
Wanna watch the air times? A little trick. Oh.
Off thou go.
Whatever times.
Thou shalt make an atonement for thy sins in full.
Swallow my exhaust. Right wing.
I am exhausted.
Yeah, you doing okay?
Almost joking.
I haven't had so much fun for centuries. How many times did we die?
Sorry, I cannot do math now.
She's too tired for brain work, okay?
My mind goes blank.
Who would expect the Sonetto would have a brain fade?
Well, I think she probably needed something like this. She really needed to get her mind off of everything and just completely zone out for a little while.
Have you heard the result of the debate?
I heard that. The number of people opposing the draft significantly increased after the debate.
It's not going well. Soon will be the voting session. The opposition has taken the lead.
I hope Miss Druvis can hold out.
You visited them?
I submitted a request to enter that building. The system arranged guards to accompany me to ensure my safety. The moment they entered the building, they started sawing the trees, saying that they need to carve out the path.
Of course they would. Why would you bother asking for permission? I mean, I know why. It's because you're Sonetto, but still.
Since then, I have not been there.
4.5 weeks. After that, they can't hold on for any longer.
Really? In that case, the vote result has to come out before that.
Hi. May the peace be with us.
Hello. May the peace be with us.
Do you mind giving us some privacy?
Do whatever you like.
Here is Madame Z's message. Please visit her in the office on Friday.
Ah, okay. Copy that. Thank you for the message.
With pleasure. Wish you a good day.
Are you leaving?
Yes. Do you know how the penalties for destruction of public property of the Foundation and Brawl are determined?
What are you planning?
Huh? Well, according to measures of the Foundation for Administrative Penalties, based on the severity of the circumstances, fines will be imposed and the offender's salaries shall be deducted accordingly in minor cases, while detention or expulsion shall be imposed in major cases.
Can I just say, what is the point of getting paid if you're not allowed to leave the Foundation without permission? What are you gonna spend that money on?
The penalty also depends on what is damaged. For example, production tools, household goods, buildings, equipment, and facilities, etc. These are the properties that involve less cost and limited influence if damaged. If the number of people involved in a brawl is equal to or less than 8, and there are no major casualties, the penalty will be minor. May I ask what happened? Why are you asking this all of a sudden?
Nothing. As I said, bored to death.
Are you gonna go start a fight or something? I feel like you're asking that because you want to go cause trouble.
So bored that I have been paying attention to the Foundation's regulations. Even the flying manuals failed to win this much of my attention. So long, Sonetto. Hopefully there's good news for us next time I see you.
We are falling behind even further. A vote or two won't help us turn this around.
I know. The move to deny was indeed useless.
The Arcanists that were on our side have defected. I misjudged the situation in the debate. I was going to seize the opportunity and the initiative.
To seize the initiative may bring us the chance. That is to say, don't pull back, don't jump, even when they're attacking. But to focus on the bigger picture, to win strong positions. The black took care, then the white Hane, and the black counter Hane here. The white stand, the black Osae. Through these moves, I see. The move to D11 can save us more than 10 Mukov stones. We can still win within 10 moves. Mark.
Do we have time for 10 more moves, see?
Yes? Are there any other things we can do?
We need an influencer. A leader who can win us more than 10 votes. Give me the file of the uncommitted leaders, including those who were neutral about this issue in the beginning.
Okay. Vase.
No. Too young to be convincing.
Noni, head of the Natural Resource Committee?
There are only 3 of them in the group.
Senator Bernard, leader of the Mankind Caucus. Forget it.
Bernard? Oh, yes. He can be your man. He is eloquent and leads a group of 11. All of the 11 are his loyal followers.
Yeah, but he's from the Mankind Caucus.
Why is he uncommitted? I thought he would be the first to vote.
True, it is weird that he didn't immediately say, you know, to hell with it.
Perhaps they believe it's a sure bet.
Find out what he's been up to.
But, Madam Z, are you sure you want to cooperate with him? This doesn't make any sense. We don't even serve the same group.
Mark, we're all serving for the Foundation's future.
You gotta get those votes where you can find them.
I just want to know what he needs now.
The office in Chicago, US. He is trying to cover that region with his influence. Bernard believes the employees there are guilty of serious dereliction of duty. They discriminate against humans of different classes, and are suspected of committing electoral fraud in collusion with the local capitals. The Supreme Court's investigators have already intervened. But they cannot go out due to the storm right now, so the case is pending investigation.
Chicago office. I've read the reports on there. I see. Great. Exactly what we can help with.
Through what?
Through Sonetto. I have a meeting with her on Friday. This may lead us to a win-win situation.
Yo, I just woke up. What's going on?
That was a good sleep, dude. You drooled everywhere. Almost glued my eyelids. You didn't expect there to be so many complicated, confusing factions in the Foundation. Can't they just make this institution simpler so that people can tell one group from another easily? Like telling the difference between cake layers? The Foundation is a mess. Listen up. It drifts along the chaotic swirl between order and disorder, enticing countless idealists and realists to come over. The storm exacerbates the chaos. Those arcanists who were snorkeling are now surfacing. You see, Miss Z is a great example. She is even sitting at the same conference table with the human elites. The undercurrents, however, are still lurking. Natural Resource Committee, Mankind Caucus, Culture and Education Department. Their members are hard to differentiate given the intricate backgrounds. They bustled for benefits and mired in countless trivial matters. You see, you need to divide them into groups, and divide until you break a huge entity into small groups, as small as possible. That's when they are able to clean the vomit on the living room floor effectively and emotionlessly.
Best wishes for the upcoming victory.
It will be the final vote soon. It's a stunning victory for us. Cheers!
You're gonna regret celebrating so early.
Cheers! May the peace be with us.
You're in a good mood.
Z?
You must be in the wrong room.
No one invited you to our party.
You can't find those friends who tell Balderdash here.
What brings you here, our honorable committee member?
May I have a word with you, Bernard?
Let me check my watch again. It's 3 in the afternoon. I don't think I've drunk that much. Could you repeat that again? You want me to canvass for you?
Come on, buddy. It can be a win-win situation here.
To be more precise, to form a partnership.
My. What a creative idea. What can you offer? Not supporting such a stupid draft next time? Or recruiting new arcanists for our caucus?
What about a witness for the case of Chicago office?
That's right, she came here to play, okay?
Who is it? Give me the name.
I will, if you collaborate with me. Or talk to me with a better attitude.
I'm sorry. Our philosophies have always been different, and that led to prejudice. But being mysterious won't show us sincerity for each other, right?
A staff of mine is willing to testify as a witness. Her report can prove your point.
Strong enough to prove their negligence?
It depends on the special prosecutor. But the evidence is strong enough to prove that you're innocent from setting up others out of your personal interest.
Looks like you've got your own little bird. The management there sucks. They don't serve humans or arcanists. They're just puppets manipulated by money. I want to bring order back to that place. And I've collected quite a lot of evidence against them. Yet the most ridiculous thing happened. In the second week after I submitted the investigation application to the Supreme Court, the evidence was gone.
Well, that's very suspicious.
My men found their charred pieces in the garbage room. Someone threw them into the shredding incinerator. It was like I could do nothing but surrender.
You have a wolf by your ears. I understand.
But you're asking for too much. 11 votes. We're on the opposite side. I can never persuade all of them to vote for you. Besides, the court session of the Chicago case starts later than the final vote. Don't tell me you want the service before you pay for it.
Don't worry. You can vote after testifying.
How are you gonna do that?
I will do what I can, in my power. The vote won't start so soon.
I can try for 9 votes, or 10, for the appreciation of your political resourcefulness.
Good luck making a better Chicago office, Bernard.
Miss Petra.
Come in.
I'm here to report the situation so far. Some neutral parties have tilted in favor of the draft.
How many?
Not a lot of them, but enough to make the votes even. They have always pursued revolution in the Foundation. Looks like Mark has finally persuaded them. I heard Miss Z has been working hard on canvassing too. But the number of the conservatives remains the same. We don't have to worry about that. I believe we will still prevail in the final vote days later.
What about the other groups?
Still functioning as usual. Nothing special. By the way, Bernard and his men paid a visit to SPDM. I didn't get to talk to them.
Thank you for the report. She's never been so persistent. Do you know why she's been so different this time, Pedro?
I didn't realize you had time to invite me to play table tennis. Or are you actually here to lobby, Madam Z?
I'm sure she can do both.
I'll say both, Cats. Back then when I was a student, I'd often invite my classmates to play ping pong after we left the laboratory. A cold shower after getting soaked in sweat is a piece of memory I can't forget.
You remind me of the old days in the table tennis varsity. You're the only one I can practice with here. Serve it, Madam Z. Let's compete.
Look at my back.
I didn't realize that table tennis was such a violent sport. Ay, ay, ay.
Fine. Wanna watch the aerial stunts? Don't blink. Oh.
Run, Rabbit! Run, Rabbit!
Interesting.
I will do watakushi ni omakase kudasai.
An eye for an eye.
Gah! My apologies.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
I will do as asked.
A tooth for a tooth.
Run, Rabbit! Run, Rabbit!
Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
A little trick.
What a great season! Watakushi ni omakase kudasai.
An eye for an eye.
Time to admire the cherry blossoms.
Noble or lowly, sin shall be punished.
Whatever. Fine.
A tooth for a tooth.
Swallow my exhaust. Oh.
The law is above all else. Off thou go. Off thou go. A tooth for a tooth, noble or lowly. Sin, thou shalt make an atonement for thy sins in full. Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
I will do as
An eye for an eye.
My apologies.
Feeleth pain and knoweth regret.
Backhand chop. Great, great. Again. Ready to go. Hey. Nice shot.
We're planning to revise some articles in the draft.
Which articles?
The articles about strengthening the control of registered arcanists. You're right. We do need to improve the credibility of the Foundation in the outside world.
Tell me more.
The Timekeeper's power to discipline should be transferred back to the School of Discipline and the Foundation. The Foundation will conduct a unified risk assessment on Arcanists to ensure this team is always under control.
But in fact, it still belongs to the Timekeeper, right?
That is our minimum requirement, and you will not change.
I didn't expect you to compromise.
It's not a compromise. It's a reasonable amendment to the draft. Transferring the power of education and discipline to the Foundation will help lower the budget and reduce the pressure on Verton.
And you would even lobby an opponent, me, for this amendment.
A reasonable appeal shouldn't be rejected just because it is raised by a different faction. The Foundation needs solidarity, not contradiction. If the draft is meant to pass, I will do whatever I can to make it meet most expectations. Just like this ping pong game. Friendship first, competition second. Legislation shall serve the people.
You have my vote, Madam Z.
Damn, good job, Z.
A vote is not the only thing I need, Cats.
Ping pong. Ping pong. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Ping pong.
Too noisy.
Yep, agreed. It's too noisy. You were looking at the little ball made of plastic. It hops from left to right, making an annoying sound. But all we can do to it is look at it. Just like all you can do to me is tolerate my existence. For both of us have nowhere to go. Ha! Look at your frowning face. Your face wrinkles from the eyebrows to the nose tip, but people can barely see those light furrows. We know what that means. You have a poker face, and it's never your fault. But for now, your face is not the thing that matters. Well, maybe for someone it is, but still, it's not. You know what really matters? The game. Yes, it's the game. Of course the game matters. Everyone loves the game. They gather at the stadium yelling or roaring vehemently. They choose one team to become its fan and spend good money on a team uniform or an autographed ball. Yet, it's just a ball. You see where I'm coming from? Just a ball. Its outline, a circle, could be found in any geometry textbook and anywhere in this world. When the first hominid picked up a coconut and threw it to the sky, and caught it, and threw it, and caught it, and threw it again, when she felt joy and yelped, had she ever thought of the future? The future where a simple ball has become so complicated and enchanting. Now we call it the present. Yes, sure. Complicated and enchanting. Use your silly and smart head to think about this ball game carefully. The complex scoring rules, the harsh requirements for reactive agility, the countless possible foul points. Your fingers, your wrists and arms, a correct way of using them will lead to victory. What matters more is, like every ball game, it focuses on how you serve the ball and hit it back. It's not an easy job as it sounds. When you are in the game, you need to concentrate. Where will the ball come from and how will you return it to your opponent? You need to figure that out within half a second. Use your power in a proper way. Move your feet in a stable pace. Inhale and exhale at the right timings. Ping, pong, ping, pong, ping, pong, ping, pong. The sound will last forever and ever, until that bouncing little thing falls to either side of the court.